Hey everyone, it's me, Empress Arcana, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Hi guys, if you have been following my personal updates, yes, it has been a whirlwind of chaos and a lot of things have been happening. I'm still here, doing my best to stay safe, and I won't go into that here. I wanted to do something more lighthearted. I am trying my very best to just keep it together. And I found something very interesting. So I've said in the past that I've wanted to talk about my characters, and the last time I tried, I was just not really all there. So this is very short. That's my intention anyway, but I found something. So growing up, maybe this was part of a coping mechanism as well, because I've always felt like the black sheep. I've always felt like all these things, whatever. We all have those times, or those phases in life. I really didn't feel I could connect with anyone. So I would create characters and they would keep me company. I know how that sounds and I don't care. I used to be afraid to talk about it, but I've realized that over the years, where I would say, oh, I've been my own therapist. Well, in fairness, it's not just me. Whatever higher power, whatever. Wow, I feel I've been really sad, but I do have a sense of clarity. I find it interesting because I know that Neptune is retrograde now, and I feel like a lot of people were saying that, oh, the rose tinted glasses are going to come off and stuff. I feel that for right now, yes and no. Because I have Neptune retrograde natally in my chart. I feel that this is a time, yes, of reflection, and a lot of things will be revealed, but I don't believe it's going to be in a bad way. Yes, there have been some scary things and stuff that I've been going through, but I want to stay positive, even though, wow, it's been a mission to do so. But I don't want anyone to believe that I've given up. I am very tired and I have stated it, but I will fight till the very end. Whatever that is for me, you know? Sorry, that's my dog, and I'm here trying to train her properly because of the issues I had yesterday. Or I've been training her more since she's in another house. I'm trying, but it's hard for anyone to break a habit. Oh, you know? But yeah. All right. So, as I was saying earlier on, and what's always brought me comfort in the past, I haven't been able to do this recently in quite a bit of years, because life has been so difficult in my eyes for that. Anyway, so do I create characters and stuff? Yeah, but it hasn't been the same. I haven't been able to care. I don't know what it is. Something has just shifted in the last handful of years where I felt that I couldn't, if I escaped into fantasy, something bad would happen to me. And okay, why does my bottle have to be so loud? I'm so sorry, guys. And it's something I'm working on, because I know that's a limiting belief that was placed and instilled within me in childhood. Like, oh, you have your head in the clouds and all that. Like most adults tell their children that are very creatively inclined and want them to get work done. But then that just, creates a poor child that becomes more obsessed with working and getting work done than enjoying themselves, or vice versa. I feel that that's a pattern that happens to a lot of us. I know it happened to me, even though there are other elements at play. So I would create characters to help me cope with my day-to-day. And it was a blessing. It's like, since I didn't know that I was channeling. That's why when I say all creators are channelers naturally. We're all channelers naturally. Excuse me if I sound a little weird. I'm still kind of a bit out of it. We're all channelers naturally. We channel energy all the time. Where it comes from, that is our intuition and what we trust that is coming in. I said I was going to do a story, but I mean, it's not really, no, I didn't say that. I haven't even gotten to the point of this. I'm trying to rekindle that relationship with my inner child, or the teenager, or the energy that connected to that creativity on a daily basis, that was able to enjoy herself by just creating. It's been very difficult because of all the reasons. I don't want to bring that up. I've talked enough about the lows. I want to celebrate the highs of, my characters and the love that I put into them. And so I can make fun of myself a little bit and give you guys more information on how my creative process is. It's, I know it's not all bad stuff in the world, but when it's happening to you, it's really hard to, especially if you're still healing from past wounds. So I want to be kind to myself and show compassion in that sense as well. And hopefully I can recalibrate, balance the scales for myself so I can be more disciplined in showing compassion to others, even when they lash out back at me, or they do things that I don't feel or deem to be right in the eyes of justice. That's just, it just is what it is. And I have been wanting to write some stuff for July, something special that I've been working on. I've had the ideas, I've jotted it down. Hopefully, I'll figure it out. So, yeah. And what I would do, again, I didn't know I was channeling. I would, it all started because I would role play with people, these characters I would create. I would role play. I was part of a role playing game. I've spoken about this before with the Harry Potter one, and all these like characters that we would create and, put them in houses and stuff. Like, okay. I keep thinking Gryffindor. So anyway, yes. I don't know. So what I would do, I have journals filled with words and letters from my characters to me or to each other. They all interact with one another. I don't like to put this out there because I want to just keep it as a creative process, but there was a point in time where I felt that I had, I don't want to say it. Because I channel so many energies, I just thought I was completely mentally ill. I didn't know any better, but whatever it might be, because I'm not a doctor, right? Whatever it might be, if I can help others, and especially if I can help myself cope or get through the day, it's doing a good job. So whatever it is, it's keeping me safer in my mindset. So these energies help me to get through the day, or they used to. I haven't really tapped into them for a very long time. It's like I was losing myself, and therefore I was losing the other voices within me. And I know how that sounds. But I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm just, maybe some of you guys can resonate with that stuff. So, yeah. And I don't know. My heart. I don't know why I said that. Sorry. Well, so in doing so, I have a lot of things saved when I channel them and what they speak to me and what encouraging words, beautiful energies. They've always, I've never felt, and it would make sense, of course, because they're born from me, more directly from me than another individual, with all these theories like flying around in my head, like, oh, everyone is you pushed out and all this stuff. And it's like, what is truth? What is not? Right now, I just want to focus on staying grounded. And when I talk about my characters, it helps. Oh, wow, I've been babbling for quite a bit. Okay, so let's get to it. I found there's this little app I downloaded a couple of years back called Texting Story. I'm using the free option or whatever. I just wanted to do it for myself because I like having these conversations with my characters, or they have conversations with each other. And I would save some of those. And so it's a little silly. My characters call me Creator Mom. I know how that sounds. Leave me be. They call me Creator Mom, so for so when I read it, Seth and Vivica, they're my babies. I've mentioned them before. They were never meant to end up together because I had other plans for them, but the characters spoke for themselves, and they were drawn to each other like magnets. One magnet and you know what I mean, whatever. Moth to a flame, whatever kind of shit. Or just that magnetic pull to one another. There you go. The same shit. That magnetic pull and that love. So I know I hold that love within me, especially when I can create characters that love each other just so fucking damn much. As I've said before, Vivi is the closest to a clone of me in writing that I have. She is everything I've always wanted to be, and I've become, in a way. It's really strange. And she's still me, though. Like, all of me. She is the closest to me possible. That's Vivi, my beautiful girl. Oh, Vivica, I wish you well. I forgot the rest of the lyrics, damn. Jack off Jill Vivica, that's where I got her name. I know that Vivica's but that's where I got the appeal from, and I was like, that's going to be her name. I was in high school when I created her. I was like, that's my baby. That's my little Vivi. The apple falls far from the tree. I forgot the rest. She's rotten and so beautiful. I'll keep her here with me. She's rotten and so beautiful. And then it's funny. Okay, so the way it started, when I started role playing, when I created these characters, it was actually Vivica it came off of, like, I hate the Mary Sue trope or whatever, but like it came off, she wasn't perfect, but others would complain or whatever, because obviously when you add an original character to a franchise or whatever, and it's like, bruh, whatever. I don't care. Vivi is still in my heart and will always be. So at the time I created, I love the best friends to lovers trope. That is my favorite. So it's really funny that Seth is not that. Seth, I mean, yes. Later on, as he evolved as a character, I want to say a human being as well, because as we grow, I love this. I love talking about characters, and I love talking about the development of them and how I feel that they grow within me as I grow. I know that sounds a little weird, maybe. I don't know. Hey, man, that's just how I do things. And I know other people have their own creative processes, and I find them fascinating. So there is this... I lost my train of thought. No, come back. I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Characters taking on, and they change. Oh, Seth, right. So technically, I'm sorry, Seth. You were not. Seth and Adrena were not the second/third characters to be created. It was Vivica and Dimitri. Dimitri is Vivica's best friend. I'm going to give you guys some tea. So, originally in the role playing game I was part of, yes, Dimitri absolutely in love with Vivica. Absolutely. And Vivica was always just focused on taking care of others and wouldn't see things. She wasn't looking for love or any of that. She just focused on. Hi, Vivi. Hi, Pot. Hi, Kettle. But then things change, right? But with Dimitri, I feel so bad. The shit that he went through. And spoiler alert, I might change this because I don't like revealing something and then changing the plot twist. So Dimitri, later on so it all started with Vivi, Dimitri in that fanfic, and then I created them for the role-playing game. But before I brought Dimitri in, I had created Vivica, then I created Adrena and Seth, and I created Isabella for Adrena. I don't know, they would just, again, something inside me said, no, you create a best friend for Adrena, and she's always going to be there for her, and they're going to be there for each other. And I don't know, it became something that this support, and they were inseparable. They were already a couple before, like they were created to be a couple. It was just something that felt right. And I love Adrena and Isabella. They're just, they're beautiful. And I love them so much. Their love is just... Now for Vivi, there was a time where my friend that role played another character was with Vivi. But then complications happened with the role playing game. So somehow Vivi and Seth became drawn to one another. It just felt so natural for them. And I'm so glad. So back in 2009, end of 2009, I started writing this. At the time, I called it the Arcana Chronicles. That was another, like, before a book series. I was trying to buy my website that I had, the arcanachronicles.com. They were trying to buy it from me. I didn't sell it, and then they just created the arcanachronicles.com for that damn book series that they created. I know that people can have similar ideas to one another, but damn, that was so shitty. I was writing the Arcana Chronicles, my Arcana Chronicles. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to publish it. And then I got so dejected when I saw that happen. And they wanted to buy my website for just $300 so they can have like that name. I mean, hey, some people don't, but I didn't want to sell it, but they still did what they wanted to do. Sorry, that was just not here or there. I don't even know why that came up. So that was back in 2000. When was it? Either way, I started writing Vivica's story, and beautiful. I still have it. I have to most likely restart from scratch. But Vivica's a detective, and she works cold cases because I'm obsessed with cold cases for some reason. I love mystery. I don't like drama, but I do enjoy a good story that makes me go into my, understand it on a psychological level, why someone this and that, and connect the dots. I do like that. That's like my Scorpio-ness, that I really enjoy that aspect of storytelling. So, and for sure, Vivica was the main character. And as I was writing it, and the antagonist, the holy madman, there's a lot more to it. So even if I tell you a grand reveal here, it don't matter, because how did it get to the grand reveal? For me, when it comes to spoilers for anything, it's like someone can spoil something for me, but if I don't know anything about the show, I don't know anything about a movie, I don't know anything about the characters, it's not going to hit the same way as when I am so invested, and then a person decides to spoil something just to be that, no. For me, I don't mind, because it's always going to be my own experience when I watch something or consume a certain content. So it's okay. That's the way I see things. But I also always like to be like, oh, spoiler alert for others that are very sensitive to that. So, or like, how dare you? How dare you spoil this for me? Anyway, so I did bring in Dimitri into my story, for Vivica's story. And there's a big past with them that she doesn't remember. She has, I'm not a doctor, I don't know the shit, but she has some sort of amnesia. She don't remember from childhood the traumatic shit that happened that caused the amnesia to begin with. And I'm not going to disclose that because I am not sure if I'm going to add that or change that. That one I'm still kind of iffy on, but some really traumatic shit happened. All I know is that I want to do the workings for a character that I created called Armando, that I love him very much. Armando. And I remember when I created him, Vivi saw him as like a parental figure and whatnot. It's like, I remember her always saying, "You're the greatest storyteller ever known, Armando." She would call him Mandy, just to joke and just to be like, Mandy, because she was a little girl and he was just telling stories, and he's the one that showed her like the deck of tarot cards, and it goes from there. And it was I felt it was very heartwarming. But that was from the original novel that I started writing back in 2009. Oh, Mandy. Anyway, ironically, he was a firefighter. And it's interesting how people that, I used to write a lot more. I write more for clients now, but for myself, I used to write a lot. Or whenever I write, isn't it wild how we write things or we speak things and then they appear? And it is in our consciousness. So they appear and they're reflected back onto us as we live life. Isn't that wild? Anyway, because I've had a lot of the stuff I've written come to life. It's really cool. And Seth is so Vivica eventually has to be reassigned to a new partner, and that would be Seth. They kind of start off with a little like, I don't want to see enemies. I don't see them. He never saw her as an enemy, but Vivica's just like, I work alone. I work alone. And Seth being all flirty and charming, and he's like, okay. But he's also very serious. And especially if someone is in danger and whatnot. And that's where my character Seth has grown so much from his earlier education days, where I would role play him as a student. And I also brought in Dan. In my novel, they were a thing, but they didn't work out, Seth and Dan. And that was also in the role-playing that I did. Because Seth was just, he would not keep his eyes off. He was just not, ironically, I know he's a Leo, but he was not loyal. Sorry. So, and Dan, they just butted heads a lot. Dan had, in the beginning also, I recognize that. What I love about when I create characters, they're flawed. We are all flawed, but there's something about, there's just something about adding that realism. It's just real. It's very relatable. And Dan, as he got older, he also grew up, and he has different preferences too. It's like he has evolved, and I love that. I love that the characters can evolve in such a way within us without realizing it, as we evolve as human beings too. So, yeah, Dimitri, I believe I already said this, but yeah, Dimitri is the antagonist of my novel series, because Vivica and Dimitri. Vivica is the upright fool, whereas Dimitri is kind of in an in-between, but at the time I said he was the reversed fool because he fell into madness. But the thing with Dimitri, with the holy madman, ooh, reveal, is that Dimitri, the holy madman is a serial killer in my series. And there's a lot more to it. I would love to go back to writing it, but I know I'm going to get sucked in. My characters consume me. So, but a lot of traumatic stuff happened to Dimitri to get to that point. But what happened later on in the series, Dimitri and Seth like join forces because something happens to Vivica. And of course, I hate love triangles. I hate them, but I'm sorry, it just happened. Yes, Dimitri and Seth. Dimitri has always had this obsession with Vivica because of the affinity they have to one another with their abilities. Vivica is not aware of her abilities yet. Dimitri is seeing her blossom and come into them, but he also sees her falling into the madness. And at the time I wrote this novel, or started to, I never finished. I had 9 chapters, but anyway, I didn't know where it was going. I was just writing to write for National Novel Writers Month, NaNoWriMo. So Dimitri is obsessed with what Vivica can become. And what is Vivica becoming? Seth falls in love with Vivica as she is. And that's the difference. And that's why I'm Team Seth. But anyway. Oop. I'm giving away all the tea before I even publish these babies. Because it is important to value an individual as they are already, flaws and all. Because when you want to change an individual, that means, well, you're not accepting of who they are right now. And I don't know, I don't like that, rubs me the wrong way. So, but anyway, Dimitri has gone through so much. He's the holy madman. He embodied, I can't believe I'm talking about this, but I want to talk about it. I want to talk about my characters and remember the love that I put into all of it. So, wow, this is already oh my, I've talked a lot. I haven't even read the little thing I was going to share. Well, either way, Dimitri, he managed, before falling completely into madness, because when I started writing this, I didn't create the whole storyteller bit. The storyteller, ironically, when Vivica would call Armando the greatest storyteller ever known, the concept of the storyteller was not born yet. I like the whole powers and creating and all the different classes for them. That was, and everything that I created, the school and everything, all of that came way later. Came I believe it was 2016, 2015. I think it was 2016. The concept of the storyteller was definitely born once I moved back with my cousins in 2016, I believe. But the core of the story and stuff, that was created back in 2009. Okay. So, it's changed a lot and I haven't revisited. I have a lot of voice memos and stuff, so I can, when I have a better control of my mind at the moment, I feel like I'm going through the whole corruption shit. It's like I'm about to fall into madness and it's so sucky. That's why I love my story so much, but because I related it so much to my mental state and how I function with that, I haven't been able to revisit a lot of the things I write because it's so connected to my psyche, very much. And I don't want to lose, I can't lose full control right now, even though maybe I'm supposed to. Maybe I'm supposed to let go, guys. Maybe I'm supposed to just like let it take over. I don't know what that even means. But either way. Yeah. So the storyteller concept came later. And I can't wait to share that with you guys at another point in time. But knowing that Dimitri managed to not fall fully into madness. And I am planning to write, I have wanted to write this since earlier this year, before April, because I wanted to do it for April Fool's Day, but things happened because life. I wanted to write more about the Holy Madman because I have come to a conclusion that I want the Holy Madman to not just be Dimitri. There's more to the Holy Madman's lore than I have, thought about in the past. So there's that. So even if I gave a little reveal about certain things might change. That was just at the moment. But Dimitri is part of the Holy Madman. And he has been able to hone that madness and keep a balance within himself. And it's not easy because, yes, he teeters on that madness and he acts up. And yes, in the story, he is a serial killer. And it's all this stuff. What I love about the Holy Madman, because let me tell you, the Holy Madman was born, like the concept of the Holy Madman was born before my novel. So I channeled the Holy Madman back in 2006 or 7. Yeah, I know I'm talking a lot. What's new? And the Holy Madman has followed me till now. It's like, incorporate more of me. And I'm like, okay, sir. And so the Holy Madman, in essence, can be anyone. But for the sake of this, currently, Dimitri is the Holy Madman from my novel series. And so wild. I feel so old talking about this and recalling when they came to be and all that. So, and what was I? The Holy Madman loves riddles. So he would always leave a riddle before he would do something really bad. In the novel, of course, but he just loved riddles, loves riddles. I remember the one scene in chapter 2 of my novel series. He left a riddle and Vivica's going nuts and Seth is telling her, stay back. You can't just barge in. You have better training than this. You can't do that. And Vivica's like, but there's someone's in there. Because they were going to interview, or how does it say? I'm sorry, my brain is like, interview this witness or something for this cold case that they were reopening and all this stuff. And yeah, Holy Madman was definitely there. And yeah, anyway, so let me stop there because I'm giving too much away. I mean, none of it really is, just in fragments, like my brain right now. So the point of this recording was that I was going to read. It's a little personal because my characters also are so connected to me. They know me and my core. They know what I'm going through. They know my pain. And that's why they've always been able to comfort me in my time of need. And I feel bad that I've disconnected from them in the last handful of years, or more so the last couple of years, because I kind of was losing myself, and I felt like I was losing myself, and I was losing them, and I didn't know what was going on. So I'll just end this with that. It's beautiful. I wrote this. It was basically using that app called Texting Story. And I added the characters that I wanted to converse. And this one is just Seth and Vivi. I believe it was the beginning of last year that I wrote this. So, for sake of privacy, I won't say the name that they're referring to in regards to me. So, Seth is like, hey, love. At this point, because Seth and Vivi, like I said, drawn to each other like magnets. And they've been together for so long. They're inseparable. And I love that. I love it. It's so cute. It's so beautiful. Seth's true loyalty lies with Vivica. And I find that beautiful. I love it so. Okay. Seth says, hey, love. Vivi says, Seth, it's been so long, I've missed you. Seth says, yeah, it has been. Honestly, I don't know how Creator Mom does it. Vivi says, you're telling me? I'm surprised that I can't believe she has found him. Seth says, I tried to calm her down earlier. She's having difficulty believing this is going to happen. I want her to never give up. She loves him so much. Vivi says, oh, Seth, I know she does. I don't want this to be another situation that ends fruitless. She doesn't deserve that. I don't know if she can. I feel we might lose her this time. It doesn't matter if we know he's the one she's been looking for. Two storytellers being each other's muses, not unheard of, but rare. Seth says, I know, Vivs, I know. I want to be there for her. I'm tired of seeing her cry. I'm tired of her falling asleep crying, wanting answers, and they only seem farther and farther away. She feels it is hopeless. I can feel it in her heart. Even if he clearly shows he cares. Vivi says, I want my beautiful Creator Mom to soar. Be happy just being herself. All of us love her so much. She has such a beautiful soul. Her stories show her light shining so brightly. No one else is like her, and all her suffering hurts me, Seth. Seth says, you're right. It hurts me too so much. Even when she created us, not knowing where our stories would go, we knew we'd always have each other. Once we were created, we integrated and felt so deep, so close to her. Vivi says, she's stuck with us truly. We are not going anywhere, not as long as she allows us to exist. Seth says, that's why we have to continue believing in her. She won't fall to the corruption. We won't allow this. I will continue to do everything in my power to comfort her, remind her. It broke my heart when she reached out to me crying, asking for answers I didn't have. I do know he is confused and living life as he knows best. When he gets like this, it's because he is pushing away his true feelings. You know, Dan and I were together for the longest time. I loved how open and accepting you were, and then things changed. He wasn't what I wanted or needed, but it had nothing to do with it. Was just him, you. Vivi says, I know that, love. I know that well. And you know, I am so open. I love, just like Seth says, just like her. You are her. And this is why I love you so much, Vivi. You were created to represent Creator Mom, to live a life she never thought she could. She always wanted love, to fall in love, and here we are. Vivi says, I hate to get sappy, but since we're here, yeah. You are a handful, Seth, but I wouldn't want anyone else. You are everything I've ever wanted in a partner, in life, in love, even in crime, or rather on the field working to solve cases. Seth says, I fell for you from the first moment I saw you. Vivi, you are unlike any other, and I'm so happy to have you in my life. I want you to be my forever. I've never wanted to settle down before, and here I am imagining it, wanting this more than ever. I can never imagine taking this leap with anyone else. Vivi says, me neither, but wait, are you suggesting? Seth, shh, don't spoil the surprise. Just know I love you so much. Vivi says, Seth, you can't leave me hanging. Seth says, love you, Vivi. Vivi, Seth. That's it. That's it. I can't believe I shared that. That's it. Okay. I've spoken enough. I hope this was enjoyable. Again, I remember channeling that. I'm just going to say channel because it was channeling. I always channel. That was the beginning of last year. So at that moment, that's what it channeled. Things are very different now. I don't know where I stand, but I have love in my heart, and I'll go with that. All right. Take care, guys. And until the next one, hopefully I'll have another written goody good in the future. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.